is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report, Scoop News. And yesterday I sent out an article, blog, whatever you want to call it, where it had Hollick opining about several issues, some about the pier. But this report is basically about the parks. And he noted the concern with the county's actions to take a unilateral decision to end the parks agreement. After that, there was a back and forth of sorts between the city and county elected officials. Hollick in his typical fashion, and I told you, I've said this before to people, one of the biggest issues a lot of the county commissioners have is with Hollick's personality. And they said that's one of the biggest issues why they don't like working with the city. You can believe me or you don't have to believe me, but that's what I was told by a few county commissioners. You can see it come out basically in that letter yesterday. That I posted on the website. I'll put a link again above this video. And basically, he was in there. He had harsh words towards them. He called the county's excuse for terminating the notice as ludicrous, as hogwash. And I say this because it was a letter to the city manager, but it was on the public server. Hollick, any public official, any politician knows damn well that people like me in the media go out, we get that stuff and we put it out there. So he knew the county would see this communication. He basically continued on. He said, this was the funniest quote where he said, "We are being asked to negotiate with a live time bomb ticking away, and we don't exactly know what the county wants. And it's like a time bomb ready to explode." I think they know what the county wants. I just don't think it's in regards to what he wants. And it's funny, I totally get what Hollick and the city of Venice is saying about I think I've heard the number 10% of the residents use that field. I get that. They shouldn't pick up the full burden. I understand that. They'll probably have a lot of support with that since a lot of people agree. He basically went on and said this is not a setup for success, but a setup for failure. But there are some important notes, and as everyone knows, I've been on top of this Wellfield. I probably broke more of the information out there, and I've been breaking it out there for a few years, how the city just wants to get rid of it. They don't want to manage it. Everyone knows I've been pretty much a leader in it. One thing that I thought was interesting, I was reading a report out there by a local newspaper, and they talked about this Dalton guy, which has been echoed to me. I know at one point somebody said they were going to get a lot of the people that graduated from the school, take a picture of them at the field, and they were all going to comment on why the field should be saved. But in this article, it basically touched on a lot of stuff. A lot of these people that come to these games, they do what I do. When my kids played softball, we would go to Sarasota, Inglewood, Port Charlotte, wherever. We would use the restaurants there. We would use the convenience stores there. These people come here. They go to Bogies. They go to all the different restaurants. It's kind of like the horse thing, which is just outside, across the street from the city limits. Angela was telling me, yeah, we get people from that all the time. So it brings in business. So maybe 10% of the population's using it, but how much revenue are you generating from it? And I guarantee you, you're generating a hell of a lot of revenue. How about the same players? It's funny. You had Hollick come on and say how great it is. He wants a parade. He wants to honor, recognize all these Venice students for volleyball and football. Yet these are the same students that played on those fields. I mean, where do you think people in the surrounding Venice area learn to play football? They learn to play at Wellfield, Pop Warner and up. Yet those are the kids Hollick doesn't want there. And isn't it ironic now that he's telling everybody he's on the news, he's throwing parades, he'll probably be one of the heads of the parade, honoring these people, when how many times he doesn't want them playing on the fields. He doesn't even want that high school there. Don't even get me going on what they've said about that. And this is how these politicians act. Even Hines, who's a commissioner, he went to Venice High, he played on those fields. And the list goes on. I never played on those fields because I didn't play football here. I did go out running. I used to live in Pine Brook as a little kid. I'd go out running on those fields over in the Pine Brook area. My daughters played on those softball fields. Gates piped up, and she said she brought up an interesting note, which is that those fields were designed for a lesser capacity. Possibly, I don't know. I know when my girls played softball a few years ago, they needed to expand it. They basically said, look, these we can't make enough revenue because it wasn't a regional type field, and they wanted to expand it. I don't know if it's capacity is an issue there. I don't truly see that. I think if you do the maintenance and the upkeep, I think it's fine. But the interesting part of this whole thing is, and what I've been hearing from people that have written me, is the fact that you got to go beyond the fact that maybe 10% use the fields. I don't know if it is 10%. You got to look at the fact that a lot of these people go to our local restaurants. A lot of these people go to our high school. A lot of these people work in our city. And Bob Daniels, Jeanette Gates, John Hollick have to go beyond the factor of, if you're not a City of Venice resident, we don't want anything to do with you. You should pay more for the pair. You should pay for your field. They got to get out of that mindset because it's not going to work. This has been Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.